Here's the thing that people don't tell you about when you're in a wilderness season is that it is going to cause you to recalibrate your whole thought process around how you showed up, how you looked at yourself, how you function. Everything about you literally has to stop and be recalibrated. Because here's the thing that I know, that when God was calling me out of corporate America, it's not that he was just calling me out of corporate America. He was calling me out of the workforce altogether into full-time entrepreneurship. And none of this process, when I went on sabbatical that turned into incubation and a whole wilderness season that lasted 3 years, I had no idea what I was in store for. But the part that they don't tell you about is that when God is pulling you out of a thing, sometimes you think he's going to send you to another location. But the truth is that when he's sending you into a wilderness, he's taking you out of everything that was familiar to you in all of the seasons that you are coming out of previously. And as a woman who was used to working all of her life, I've been working since I was 13 years old. I started babysitting and making money since I was 13 years old. So when God called me out of that, out of working, I was like, okay, Lord, so what do you want me to do in this place? Like, how am I going to eat? How am I going to function? Like this, so all of the things, we have all the bills. We got to make sure that we are feeding ourselves. We need gas in our car. You got to pay your insurance, like all the things, right? And God took me on this journey, and what I didn't realize about it, there were so many things I didn't realize about it, but we got to understand that when God is calling us out of a thing and sending us into a brand new normal for that particular season, he's already calculated all of the different things that you are worried about that you think will prevent you from being able to do this season well. And doing this season well does not mean that it's not going to be challenging or hard or difficult, or that you may not struggle in some areas. But there's things on the inside of you that God wants to come out, whether it's a purging or whether it's a gifting. Whatever he put on the inside of you, he wants to come out. And whatever he did not deposit there that somehow infiltrated you, he's got to get that out too. So it's a pruning and a processing, and it's a revealing to you. But one of the things that I didn't understand back then that I know now is that, yeah, I went on this 3-year sabbatical with the Lord where I had to rest. I had to be still. I had to be patient. I had to be pruned, processed. I had to go to therapy, deliverance, all of the different things. And I remember having a conversation with somebody, and I'm just like, I went on a 3-year sabbatical, and I'm still, number one, tired, but also just feeling like I'm lacking capacity. And one of the things that I realized after this 3-year sabbatical is that you have to reserve a time period to get, you have to reserve a time period for yourself to get acclimated with the new you that you have become after you have been processed for so long. I realized that coming out of sabbatical, I thought, okay, now God is releasing me. It's time for me to get to work. But the truth of the matter is that it did not happen like that. I was in this space for a really, really long time where I just felt like I didn't have the capacity. And God was showing me, you don't have the capacity for the life that you used to live. So now I have to excavate you, and I created new capacity for where I'm taking you, where you always were supposed to go before you were interrupted, before you were delayed, before you went through all of this warfare, all of the different things that you experienced. So I had to give myself permission and the opportunity to be able to acclimate myself with the new version of who I am in this particular season that God is launching me into for this next era, right? And the thing about that is that I think we get so accustomed to giving and providing and being solutions and serving other people that we don't understand how important it is to just sit with ourselves. At each new level that you go to, you should reserve a space and a time, however long that period of time is, but you should put that on reserve so that you can get acclimated to you before you jump right back into giving yourself away all over again. Of course, God wants us to serve. He wants us to give. He wants us to do all of the things. But I think we rush to do too much of the service-based things, the solution things, because the truth is that we're honest with ourselves. We attach a portion of our identity to whether or not we could produce results for other people. But that's not what it is. That's not what it was meant to be. God wants us to serve from the overflow of who we truly are in our being, Not in our pride, not in our ego, not in who we have said that we are because we did a thing. No, we are exactly who God says that we are so that we can go out to do the things. The things don't make us. We make the things. And I think this reverse engineering that God is doing in us in this particular season that is about to launch us into the next era that's going to take us through the rest of our lives until you leave this earth, is he wants you to be able to get acclimated with the new you that he's produced out of the wilderness season, out of the challenging season that you had. Stop rushing so quickly to go back to keep up with the world that is already behind because they have advanced before God. You'll catch it later. I'm going to tell y'all something. The people that you think are winning, the people that you think are better than you, the people you are comparing yourself to are a lot of the people that are going to come back and need to be served by you because you said yes to the processing that they tried to go around. Y'all not hearing what I'm trying to tell you right now. Stop looking at the fancy, shiny things that you see on the internet because a lot of people are lost in successful seasons. So do not avoid the work that God is calling you into, the processing, the thing that looks so scary. Like, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going? Listen, if God is telling you to do the thing, he's already provided the way for you to make sure that you're well taken care of. And sometimes that's not going to look or feel like what you want it to look or feel like. There's some people that may lose everything. Oh, God, I know that's hard to hear. He's going to take away all of that comfort because a lot of you have attached your worth to the things that you possess, the things that you've been able to accumulate. And a lot of things have become idols in our lives, and God is coming for all of it. The things that you are thinking about that God has already calculated when he's telling you to leave that job because I need you to come and be with me. He's already got it all worked out. Yeah, he knows your credit is going to take a hit. He knows that some of those bills are not going to get paid. But here's the thing that God promised me and that he's continually showed me. I have never missed a meal, y'all. It's been 4 years now since I have not had a full-time job. And I've always eaten. I have not missed a meal. I have not walked out of the house naked, not one time. God did not leave me or forsake me at any point in time in this process. Yes, things were uncomfortable. Things were difficult. Sometimes I didn't know where my next meal or money for the meal was coming from, but it always came. It always came. And this did not come from me reaching out to a bunch of people. Hey, I'm struggling. Can you help? No, I'm not even that girl. Like, baby trauma has not even allowed me to be that person. Not because of pride, just because I'm just I'm just very withdrawn in that type of way. I have not had the ability to be able to trust or feel safe in a lot of different spaces. So that's not my natural proclivity to reach out to people for help. I go to God like, look, Lord, what we doing? And he always would place me on the heart of someone, or he would just provide in a number of ways that I'm so, so grateful for. And it takes a level of humility to be able to get something in this season with a lesser level of ease than what you're used to when you could just go out and get whatever you want. Will you be patient and humble enough to be able to receive the blessing from wherever it may come from that God sent? My Lord. So I just wanted to come on here to tell y'all that if you are in a wilderness season, you are in incubation, you are being processed by the Lord in ways that is literally pressing you for everything that you have, that if you feel like you are down to your last, you feel like God has forgotten about you, that it's going to be so hard that you won't get through. I'm going to tell you right now, you will get through. Not only will you get through, on the other side, you're going to be introduced to yourself. And I want to tell you, as you are crossing over into who God has who God has always intended for you to be, take time with her before you go out and giving yourself away again, because you need to be acclimated and confident in who God says that you are before you go out trying to give everything all away again. He loves you just that much to give you all the time that you need to love on you like he has always loved you from the beginning. Hope this helped.